I'm not going to put the pigs on today because of the bright sun and the hot weather. As before, I just don't think there's enough here to make it worth it to move them here and then take them back. Although they sleep in the sun. You just got to be a little careful with pigs getting too hot. But I'm going to go see if I can get a stronger supply of water here. I got to pause to film that. It's the first I've seen this year. It's a rose. I think it's a rose. But it's not the multifloral rose, which is such an invasive species here. That one is native, I think. I'll film a little as I walk along this. This is the Trench Royal, or the East Canal. I think those are the names I use for it. It would be only the Trench Royal because it's the supply for that area. A Bisse, it would also qualify. A little hard to walk over these sods. It's so clear because I did clear it yesterday before I took the pigs off. That's still a pretty good water supply. Especially considering I don't have any plastic liner here. I haven't used any pallet wrap yet. But you see, there's a lot of water going by. And of course I want to share. But you can almost never stop the natural drain. So I'm going to go along there and study it and see if there's any other places I can plug. Well, there's certainly a lot of water getting through here. I don't have with me that bale wrap to plug the holes, but the next time I'm here I certainly will. A lot coming through there too. And I think what I'll first do is plug any holes. I think that's what I'm doing in general. I'll plug any holes with that I can. Then I'll make sure things are level. There's no sense in any rocks being above the water level. And then I'll lay a couple stretches of that pallet wrap here. But I don't have it with me at the moment. So I'll just see what I can do with what I've got. I don't see any whirlpools exactly. But by tomorrow, I'm going to be up here and I'm going to have that material so I can catch that water. That would make a huge difference out in the field, as would that. I didn't do much. I'm afraid I'll do more damage than good if I'm not careful. Well, even if I'm careful. But tomorrow I'll be back here, maybe later today, I don't know. And I'll have in a backpack the material I need to go to work here. But that's enough. If it'll stay like that, that'll be fine for today. It's been doing so. Another thing I want to tell you about this place is it's near a confluence. It's just below a confluence that I guess I'm not going to go up there to show you, but it is. Now I'm on my way up to the folkfold and the aqueduct, but I wanted to point out this beautiful stand of poison ivy. You know, when I got so I could recognize that immediately, you know, 3 leaves, yeah, a vine, shiny, yeah, but it was when I realized it was so pretty. That's what gives it away, poison ivy. But notice there's absolutely none here. The pigs gobble it right up. Cows and goats would too. They like it. I should stop for beauty. Now and then there's daisies and bird's foot trefoil. And there's clover. I haven't planted it, so I guess it's maybe crimson clover, red clover. Here's the folkfold. I worked a little bit here yesterday. Didn't do much. For one thing, I was still a little bit sore, my shoulders and stuff from before. But I established the corners by wiring up some pallets that were here, and I cleaned it up some. I didn't stack anything any higher yesterday. I will this afternoon. What I needed was short pieces that were the right size. Those are too long. What I ran out of was these are the right length, but they're 3.5 by 3.5. What I need is a bunch of these right there, which I'll saw and bring up here with the pickup and I'll load with the pickup truck to Plurk here tomorrow, today, this afternoon. That's kind of my schedule. And I did build a tower. I'll put those up against it so I can kind of walk up them to work on the base of the folk huts, both on that folk tower and this folk tower. I can work my way from that tower. I'll be back here this afternoon, and there's Heidi, my oldest goat. She's been shedding her fur. Doesn't look so good because of that. So was one of the bucks. Oh, and her son, I guess it is, her daughter. I haven't looked. I think this is her son. Has got a playmate. Yeah, he's a boy. Glad to see him here. The pigs know my schedule and they come. You'll see in my second video today, the pigs will be here to visit, and maybe the goats all at the same time. I haven't let them inside yet here because I don't have the fence complete around it, so all the action is right over there. I'm going to put Jim and Jam back to work. I had them over at the aqueduct because water was off and on there, but little by little it's approaching it again, largely because of my maintenance, but also we had some rain. Give you some idea how close we are. Where that white is, that's pallet wrap, and that's the by the end of the aqueduct. I'm at Grandpa Jim Weir, and there you can see a tiny whirlpool. I muddied the water up just a little bit with my hoe, and I suspected it might be there because sometimes you can just watch the sediment go down. So I'll stuff some bale wrap in there. Let's just look a little further. I don't think I got any leaks here. It looks pretty dry on this side. Let's see there. If I just muddy the water a little. Not really. I don't see much there. See, this is good. The water supply is getting pretty low coming off the mountain. That which is natural. It does that this time of year. But with this system, you can lengthen the time between rains that there's something to be absorbed. And it never, I keep saying this, but it never really shuts the main drain off. There's suspicious places, but I think I'm going to go up and work on the new Bisse instead of here. We got a little supply. I'll just fix that one that I found. Can you see that crayfish going? Little tiny crayfish. Oh, I like seeing them. Anyway, this was so tiny I could almost not find it again, but I managed to stuff a bunch of that bale wrap down in there. It so reminds me of plugging tubeless tires. Well, here we are, where I was yesterday. Look at the sediment that pallet wrap has collected just overnight, and it broke out there. I'll just put a rock to prop that up, but it's still running out the end. So I'm gonna get my bar and I'll start taking it around the bend. There, I fixed a couple of leaks right there, and I folded the plastic back, and there's the water supply that I've got to work with, that I'm going to now see how easily I can take it around. This is super easy, although some of the rocks are kind of big. Why I'm filming though is because I hit clay. There it is. I hit a layer of clay. See that gray stuff? There's a different kind of soil. That's going to make it easier to keep the water on the hillside. This other stuff is more sandy. So anyway, that was real easy. I wish I'd brought a shovel though. I don't want to break my hoe. I'm loosening it with the bar. There's the bar. I didn't bring my best bar either, but well, on I go. Well, that clay adds an added dimension of sport here, of fun. It's like making mud pies. Wayne Frost, that's a commentator on most of what I do, he's talked about making mud pies. You know, with that clay, I wouldn't even maybe need the liner. We'll have to see how that goes. I won't use it where I don't need to use it. And I've begun to hit a big boy. I'm going to eventually hit some big boys, rocks going out through here. That's why I have that bar. But a shovel would be probably the tool to be using right now, a pointed one, a spade. I may not do too much more today because, do you see it's not running out the end? It's filling up a lot of voids in there where rock were placed, probably because the skidder was driving through, I don't know. But I'm going to let it fill and see what happens. And then I'll have a better idea of at what point I need to start lining it. So I got to give it time. So I'll replace the liner sort of the way it was, and maybe just leave this alone until tomorrow. There. See, I've got water running there steadily. There's a lot coming out because it's filling it. Now, I may end up coming around the front of that hump, but it was just tempting to see how much of that would fill with water back in there. And as I said, I've got to give it some time for that. So I need a shovel. A shovel would make it a whole lot easier. So, tomorrow's Sunday, the Sabbath, but I regard this as a form of worship, really. Worshiping Gaia. And God in the process. But so by all means, let me know if you want to join me. Probably not at church time, but I'll probably be up here sometime tomorrow. I won't be able to resist.